We've got Australasia immigration trends for our final session. I'd like to invite our panelists to come forward. Ketaki Nimonkar from Fakuri Global Immigration. Close. I try to get everybody's names right. It's Kathke. Kathke. I knew it. Thank you. Wonderful. She's an officer of global immigration at Fakuri Law Group, a specialist with 10 years plus experience in this area of global immigration. Also, I would like to bring up Rama Karmakar. Come on up. She's senior manager in the Human Capital Global Mobility Practice at EY, again with experience in human capital and emphasis on global mobility and tax, and is a chartered accountant as well, and will be giving us some good information today. Tim Denny, a managing director for Barry Appleman and Leiden, or BAL, from Sydney, Australia. Welcome. Glad you're here. And Dot Goltke. How is it? Golthe? Data. I know, I was trying to figure out, should it be Data? Thank you, Data. He is Asia lead for global mobility at Atkins. He loves serving the expat community. I like that. That's passion. And that's what's driving all of us, I hope, to be here, that we love to serve these people. He has a wealth of experience in global mobility, the full life cycle, including compensations, benefits, tax, and immigration. All right. And so, with that, Kathy?
Thank you, Jake, so much for the lovely introduction. Good evening, all. I am Ketaki Nimonkar from Fakuri Global Immigration, and I would be sharing my and my firm's views with your Australia immigration changes and migrant trends. Over the last 2 days, you've heard a lot of eminent speakers share their views on various issues. I'm sure you must have benefited from it. As we come to a close of this year's conference, it will be an endeavor for me and my panelists to make this last session also interesting. Global immigration. Global immigration, ever-changing scenario. There's not a single day where things do not change, where laws are concerned. And we have to adhere to the same. One thing I would like to stress on here, that the success would lie in compliance. You as an immigration professional have to ensure that. In my presentation, I will cover the important aspects of the changes in Australian immigration. Most of you may be aware of the same, but in a nutshell, I will summarize how Australia is moving ahead with its immigration laws. At the end of the panel presentation, me and my fellow experienced panelists will welcome any questions you may have. As you see in this slide, Australia is a very welcoming country where immigration is concerned. On the slide here, you can see that it welcomes all immigrants from any country that can help its growth. Indians are more than welcome, and that can be seen in the stats on the slide. You can see that there was an increase of approximately 21% of qualified Indian professionals who have moved to Australia. Chinese show a similar moment. UK, it may have fallen, but that would also be due to the uncertainty prevailing there because of Brexit at the time. Overall, the government of Australia is very welcoming to the IT sector companies, to who want to set up there. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide talks about Biometric Act update. Biometric, as you all know, is an increasingly important tool in identity management globally, helping countries reduce fraud and integrity risk. Many countries have already introduced biometrics to improve visa and border checking process. On February 16, 2016, all individuals entering Australia, including both Australian citizens and non-citizens, will be subject to provision of Biometrics Act. The Biometrics Act establishes the following stipulations. Authorities may request to collect personal identifiers from minors and incompetent persons without their consent and without the presence of a guardian. Personal identifiers may be collected by an identification test or by using other methods prescribed by immigration authorities. Example, live fingerprint scans, and gives permission to the ministry or an immigration officer to notify of biometric requirements orally, in writing, or via email. Subclass 457, Common Work Permit used for Australia, streamlined application process. The Australian government recently implemented a new legislation which makes numerous changes to the Subclass 457 visa program. These policy changes are a reflection of the government's overall goals that aim to streamline the visa application process and protect the local workforce in Australia. Banning employers from engaging in indiscriminatory recruitment practices